Hi there and welcome to the channel. I'm Slate and today I am here with a Titanic Ruins Guild Boss 2, Semrah, whatever you want to call him, guide/challenge. I kind of thought it would be fun to put out this community challenge, mainly aimed at other CCs, but anyone is welcome to give it a go themselves and let me know how they do. Essentially, the idea is to make a free-to-play friendly team where any epics are allowed, any gears allowed, anything like that, but the only legendaries that you can use are Volka, Abomination, and Myca, because they're the only fusion ones. So the idea is to see how much damage you can do on Apocalypse 1 within these parameters. So give it a go. Let me know how you go. Hashtag Slate's GB2 race, so that, and I will put together a little leaderboard and, do something fun at the end. It will go on for the entire month of July, with it ending on the 31st of July, and then, like I said, I'll put something out. I will also try and figure out some kind of community prize. I don't know yet. This is all kind of figuring it out as we go, but hopefully either way it'll be lots of fun and something to get your teeth into. So anyway, back to my first attempt at this, or should I say my run. We are going here with, again, Nightmare, so Wrath, Volka, Deimos, Abomination, and then Nazim, Hollow, Medan, Dolores, Vortex, and Estrid. Getting into placements. Because we're using a lot of ground, it's going to be Estrid followed by Hollow, then Volka followed by Dolores, then Deimos followed by Wrath, and Medan and Vortex. Now, all of my platform units, apart from Nazim, are wearing Invigoration, so it's going to go on most of my main damage dealers. And as you'll see, that triangle with Dolores is going to be on my main damage unit. Now the Death Saw comes up, so we're ultimately immediately triggering Nazim, and then we are getting my damage dealers. So that's going to be Dolores, Estrid, Deimos, and Volka, all going to try and be bunched together. And the aim is obviously to hit hard and survive. So we've just finished that first wave. Now for the Earthshake, we want to do Hollow and Medan first, and then the next Earthshake we will do Vortex and switch. Now this Aegis mode, we want to get that damage as quickly as possible, so that's why we've, as soon as we can, triggered Dolores, Estrid, Deimos, and Volka. So I'm just going to call it the DPS line to make it a bit shorter. So anyway, this is the next Earth Shatter, and that's why we're triggering Vortex. Now the next thing that is going to come up is this poison stage, and this is really important for timing your heals. So the first round of poison is going to come up, and we are not going to trigger Medan, who is our cleanser. We are going to wait for this second round to come, and as soon as the sort of arm comes over, that is when we are going to cleanse everyone off. Now the next time, because we can't DPS it all in one go, there will be more to it. So anyway, we trigger Hollow to try and get everyone's ults back up. She's absolutely fantastic in this fight, and we will trigger Medan as soon as she is back up so that we can cleanse off those final poisons. Now again, the bar is full, so we are going to do the DPS line, but we're going to hold Nazim until that Death Saw comes back. The other thing that I'd say is when you're looking at your DPS line, you want to kind of maximize it. So I would recommend not using it when it's sort of like under 30%, unless obviously you're on the Aegis, that shield one, where it does get very difficult, because as we're coming up here, we're going to hold it because we want to trigger that DPS as soon as possible on that shield stage, because we need to get as much damage out before the boss, starts mitigating that damage. So that bar has gone all the way up. Trigger the DPS. Earth Shatter's coming, so it's going to be Hollow and Medan for round 1. And then we need to definitely have another go with the DPS line. So what is going to happen is, while we wait for their ults to all come back up, this Aegis mode seems to have 2, then Earth Shatter, so this time it's going to be Vortex, because we really don't want anyone to die to this massive AoE, but we are also going to do all of that damage, and hopefully that is going to get us very close to finishing. So we will hold those ultimates again for that time, but everything is going down, trigger hollow, just to make sure nothing dies, and moving on to the next round of poisons. So again, we do not want to trigger Medan, but we are going to trigger the DPS. It is not till this round that we now trigger Medan, but we are going to get another round of poison. So this is what I figured out is the best way to do. What happens is when that first acidic venom comes down, we are going to trigger hollow. Now after the boss does this like zuzu there, that's when we trigger vortex, and between the two of them that is enough healing to help us get through, so that by the time Medan gets here, she is able to cleanse, we are able to survive, and everything is okay. But again, we are going to be holding Nazim because it's very close and we want him for that death saw. Now one of the things that's really interesting about death saw, and I tried to see whether I could just ignore it, is as the fight progresses, every time you CC it in that, you get one of these like stacks. Do you see it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way up to 12, and that mitigates the damage that the guy does when he smacks with the saw. So it's very hard actually to survive that without any kind of stacks or CC. So yeah, we are continuing to trigger the different characters, but I am going to hold, even though Dolores is now up, I'm going to be holding the DPS, because like I mentioned before, I want it so that as soon as the next round, that Aegis round, comes up, I can get as much damage on the boss before he starts to mitigate it. So wait a second, he is going to regenerate. As soon as that bar starts to regenerate, we are now going to go pop, 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 pop down the line. And then for this Earth Shatter, it's going to be again Hollow and Medan. We want that rage regen, but we need that extra healing from Medan, and then the next one is going to be Vortex. So yeah, as you can see, there's quite a cycle to the fight. It's kind of repetitive in terms of you know, what I'd call pairing people together or deciding which ults to go, but once you get into the swing of it, it's quite good fun. Now in terms of why I've brought the people that I have brought, so Nazim is in there for the stuns. Like I said, it's very hard on that first wave not to do it. There are other options, but to me that was the safest. Then in terms of the healers, Hollow is there obviously for rage regen, Medan for the cleansing, Dolores is there for damage boosting, and Vortex is there because quite honestly need the survivability, and the shields that he does are really, really, really good at helping you to survive. So even though he's a single target healer, he's absolutely great for this. Now in terms of the DPS options, Abomination is our tank. He is a tanky boy as is, but he is then for the tank. Now I'm going to just quickly again talk through this poison part because it does get tricky with these stacks. So again, that second poison, Medan cleanses. Doing all the DPS, Estrid is a little bit late. Now here is the thing, that first acidic venom, we are triggering Hollow. As soon as the boss does his little laser thing, we trigger Vortex, and that combined should be just enough so that when this second venom comes down, we spam ult Medan to cleanse it off, but it's absolutely fine. Now there will be another round of poison coming up, it's going to be okay. We'll trigger Hollow, should be able to take the boss down, and then when Medan comes back up we will definitely be removing it, but we do need that extra healing from Vortex. Now going on to round number 3 of everyone, gonna finish talking. So yeah, like I said, Abomination is absolutely fantastic as a tank in this, because he's tanking himself. He's still in DPS but just with some damage stats as well. You could also make Volka a tank, but surprisingly she does quite a nice amount of damage. Volka is also in there for damage mitigation from the boss and a couple of debuffs to help you do more damage. And speaking of debuffs, we also have a defense down from Estrid, which funnily enough is really, really good in this fight. Now Mari is another one that is good, but I found that it kind of overlapped with Volka, and didn't really help me, but I'm sure someone out there could see if they could get Mari to work instead of one of the other characters, because, you know, she's absolutely fantastic at boosting a team's damage because she keeps those debuffs up a lot. Now, we are starting to get close to 30k, and we're on pretty much the last part of this shield. I have not been able to break this final Aegis round. It just gets too difficult with the basically the damage mitigation that the boss comes up. So we have hit that 30k, which is what you need for top chest in Apoc 1, which is really great, and just kind of try and sneak out as much damage as possibly can. Basically, I know I am not going to be able to break the shield within that time, so we are just going to see how much damage we can possibly get in the meantime. Now, the other person who I missed talking about, Deimos, is star of this show. He is absolutely incredible at doing damage on this boss. And Wrath is also pretty good. Estrid is great. Again, like I said, it's that debuff that she constantly keeps up that defense down, which sort of counteracts one of these stacks, but not all of them. Anyway, trying to sneak here as much damage as possible, but as you can see, we have now lost Dolores. She might survive if a bit more tanky, but people are now starting to die. We have hit that 32k, which was kind of a goal of mine. I wanted to see if I could just squeak over the 30k, but yeah, we are now getting into the last, 15 seconds, 10 seconds of the fight, and yeah, don't quite have the damage to reach that final round. So that is my Apocalypse 1 run as part of this little community challenge, and 32,642 was my score, which you have got to now beat, which I'm sure you can, to be honest. But yeah, as you can see, Deimos is the absolute star of the show, followed by Wrath, Estrid, Volka, etc. And yeah, like I said, Abomination was my tank for this. You definitely need a tank for this. Now, in terms of gearing, Wrath is in a Wailing Skull. He's fully awakened, fully max skilled. And then for the gear, Warlord and Infernal Roar. Making sure it's, attack, and crit damage. But yeah, he's got that 46,000 HP. You really need HP for this fight. 17k attack. He's at a 1.5 second attack interval with 357 speed, crit capped, and a bit of crit damage as well. Deimos is in my best Wailing Skull. He is Awakened 5, fully skilled, and then for his gear, again, Infernal Roar. And he is looking for sort of like HP substats where I can, but attack speed in the middle. He's a little bit low on 27,000, but he does get some HP stuff in his kit, and a 1.3 second attack interval is pretty helpful. Moving on to Estrid, she is in an Eye of Sin because she does that AoE damage. Fully awakened at level 5, but the main one is number 1 because it is that extending that basic attack range. And like I said, it is this skill here on her passive where she has a 30% chance of inflicting defense reduction every single attack. So Soulbound Arcana, close to 50,000 in HP, 14,000 in attack, 1.2 second attack interval, and 300% crit damage. So yeah, she hits hard, she hits well, and very, very happy with her. Moving on to Medan, she is in a Golden Scarab. For that rage regen, really need that rage regen on her. She's Awakened 5, fully skilled, and then for her gear, she's an Invigoration and Immortal Warrior with HP bonus, attack speed, and rage. For as much speed and HP and healing effects. So she's at 37,000 on HP, a 1.6 second attack interval. That 87% rage regen is really important, and 77 healing effect. Ideally that would be 100, but anyway, moving on to Vortex. He's in an Elysian Epitaph to help boost his single target. He's Awakened 5, single target healing is what I meant to say. fully max skilled, again, invigoration and immortal warrior, looking for HP, then speed and more HP to bring him to 40,000 with a 1.5 second attack interval, 75 on the healing effect, no rage regen, basically, and that is going to be Vortex. Now Hollow is in maxed out Golden Scarab. You want her going a lot to get all that rage for the fight, which is really important. She's Awakened number 5, and Awakened 5 is where this accumulative rage starts to kick in, and that is super important. Fully max skilled. And then again for gear, Immortal Warrior and Invig. Now usually you want her attack quite low, but for this fight we need those heals, so actually instead of it being sort of 10k attack overall, which is sort of what you want, we've actually gone for 16,000 attack this time, so that she does have some kick to her heals. And yeah, she does enough rage regen with it. There is so much damage given in this fight, so you do kind of need a little bit more beef in there. Now for Dolores, she is in a Keen Wisdom. If I had a third Golden Scarab, she'd be great in that. Fully max skilled, Awakened 5, again Invig and Immortal Warrior. Again, Immortal Warrior is basically, you need the HP. You're looking at about 30,000 HP on all your heroes as a minimum. Again, she's a little bit low at 27,000, so she sometimes does die if something goes wrong, but again, nice amount of rage with 82% and as much attack as I could get on her within those parameters. Now Nazim is in a Nightmare Samsara. Just need to make sure he gets back to his ult twice in that first round. He's Awakened 5, fully skilled, and yeah, it's this stun on his ultimate that is really, really important, and yeah, he's very, very good at stunning. So in terms of the gear, it's a complete hodgepodge, because what I'm looking for is just speed, HP and rage regen. So we got a HP piece, another HP piece, and finally a rage regen piece, all with attack speed and HP bonus, because he's very squishy. So he's at 32,000, 1.5 second attack interval and 86.5% rage regen. Now moving on to the last three heroes, our three legendary heroes. Two legendary. Abomination, who is our tanky boy. He is in a lunacy visor just for that little bit extra support. He is Awakened 1. He's not fully max skilled at all. It's this where is it? He does have this chance to stun when he is Awakened 1, but it's quite low, so you can't rely on it. Then looking at his gear, he is in Immortal Warrior and Infernal Roar with at least 1 HP bonus on the Infernal Roar, bringing him to 80k HP. I found that you need a minimum of like 70-75, but that's really dodgy, so 80k was comfortable for tankiness. And then try to get some damage on him where possible. Now Volka, she is in an Eye of Sin that is completely unmaxed out. She is Awakened 4. Again, if you had Awakened 5, that would be even better, but that's very, very end game tied. So yeah, she would do a hell of a lot more damage if she was at Awakened 5, which is kind of exciting. I hope I can see someone use an Awakened 5 Volka. She's not fully max skilled either, and she is also in Immortal Warrior and Infernal Roar. So we are looking for all those nice attack. She's got attack damage, nice 42,000 HP, 1.4 second attack interval, okay crit damage, and yeah, that is her build. So those are the builds for everyone. That is the team. There are lots of different substitutions. I did try a few different things to sort of see, and I am very excited to see what you guys come up with. I do hope that you take part of the challenge, give it a go, see what you can come up with, and like I said, do let me know, drop your scores. I will make a little Discord channel. If you're a CC, tag me, Slate's GB2 race. I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with, but either way, I hope this helps some of you guys out there who are trying to hit that 30k on this boss. But yeah, you can easily sub out different legendary heroes for some of the options that I have put forward. Anyway, that is going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a bit of a long one. I will see you in the next video. So until then, take care and bye for now.